guys, I'm doing something a bit different today. Thought I would get on my Wacom Intuos and do some hands today. And I thought while I was doing that, I might show you guys how I typically go about doing something like that. So I guess you could call this a tutorial? Kind of a loose one, I guess. So okay, when you're drawing hands, it's important to remember, if you don't know where to start, you have two of them. So if you don't know how to draw, say, a hand with the palm facing you, you hold your hand out, you look at it, or to face you with it, here you go, and you can see it. You can at any time, within reason, see your hands, which is great. But a lot of people have trouble making that mind to page connection. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you some basic shapes. Yeah, why not? That you can use to draw hands. And I'm gonna start off with a square. Just as an analog for a forearm, I've got this shape down here, but you can ignore that. Alright, and you want to go with this kind of a triangle here, I guess. And a little shape like that. Okay, that's going to be a thumb. Alright, and you've got knuckles, which you can do here with these, and then give yourself a basic shape, kind of like that, and that will give you a rough finger shape. And of course you've got your knuckles as they go up the fingers, and this would sort of be a representation of a wrist. Okay, and this here, alright, that is really blocky, because that's just a representation. Alright, that's what we would call guidelines, and that's a really basic, looking at a hand like this. But because that looks kind of crappy, let's turn the opacity down on that. Alright, and if you were doing this traditionally, you could just lightly erase that down to about what you're seeing here. Okay, and on a new layer, I'm going to come in and I'm going to go with black. Okay, so for this hand, alright, where we had the forearm, probably keep that in there, alright? But hands don't jut out like that, okay? It's kind of a smooth swoop, kind of like that, alright? And that's that's basically a thumb. I don't like that brush size. Give me a second. I'm on now 28. I'll drop that to a 15. Yeah, that's better. Okay, thumb. And then you can come up following your guidelines, okay, and just go over it with a finished line. So this would be, your knuckles would kind of be here, okay, something like that. The tendons a little bit if you want to get a bit more detailed with it. Alright, now you've got this little bone here. So that's what that is. Okay. And fingernails real quick. Alright, so nothing fancy, alright, but that is one way to draw a hand. Alright, and that's fairly boring though, isn't it? So what I think I'm gonna do is come back to this previous layer, bring that back, just so I can get the same color again, and I might do the other side of that, but to just speed things up. Okay, so I'm just gonna move it across a bit. Okay, merge that down. Alright, so I shouldn't have maybe bothered with that. And then we're going to come back and do the inside of a hand. So it was facing this way before, and I'm going to flip it around. You're going to be seeing the palm. Okay, now a lot of people have trouble with this part because they don't know what's involved there. Okay, so I've already got the groundwork done. It's pretty, you can do the same building blocks as you did for the original hand that I've drawn here. Okay, excuse me. So the only real difference is you're gonna have some palm lines. Okay, so you've got creases where the joints are. Your thumb is a big one, it's got this big shape here. Okay, and then where the pinching happens, if you touch your pinky to your thumb, I hope this is all in camera, there's another crease that sort of comes down like this, so you've got a kind of a, let's go with blue, you've got one that sort of rounds like that, and then you've got another one that comes down like that. And then, because nature is all about damn triangles, alright, you've got another one there which basically gives you this triangle in the middle of the hand, alright? So we can then surmise that, okay, here's the thumb, alright, we can kind of go like that, and then maybe swoop that in a bit, and this is starting to look a little bit more like a hand. Actually, I don't like that. Never be afraid to erase, okay? It's back in high school I really wanted to look like I knew what I was doing a lot more than I actually did. So I was one of those kids who was like, oh, I don't erase. Every line I draw is there on purpose. I was one of those douchebags. Fact of the matter is, guys, if you're drawing, do not be afraid to erase, because at the end of the day, erasing a mistake is better than leaving it there, presenting what's, you know, you're trying to get people to believe is a finished product, and then they call you out on it, and they're like, hey, what's the go with that? And then you're kind of sitting there like, oh shit, I was hoping they wouldn't notice that. And then you try to tell them, oh well, I meant to put that there. And they're gonna say, no you didn't, that's a mistake, that doesn't look right, that's not, for example, what a hand looks like. So again, here I've kind of, sorry for that tangent, but here I've drawn the lines in the middle of the hand right there. And again, okay, the one on the left, this is this crease, okay? This one on the right is just this line here. And these, pointing at it like it'll line up, sorry. You can see here maybe this line here, alright? That's because when you make a fist, that's a crease point. That bends, alright? And that's important to remember, because the next thing I'm gonna do is demonstrate, I think I'll go with the purple this time, sort of how to draw a fist. Okay, so from multiple angles, alright, so I'll start off with kind of this, okay, so we've got the, whoops, sugar, what did I just do? Bugger, what did I do? Navigator, layers, hang on. Okay. Alright. I'll edit that out. Alright. We draw that. So we're going with a kind of box with a curved bottom. Okay? And then we want to kind of make a line like that, because as the hand bends, it bunches up a bit. Okay, so we'll go down, boom, with the wrist, and kind of halfway across, we want this line that swoops up. And that's great, because we can go 1, 2, 3, alright. And that starts to give us the curled over fingers, right? So remember that line I was talking about before? And this one might just look like scratches at the moment, but if I bring this triangle back and I make this kind of a shape, okay, all of a sudden that alright makes a very rough fist. Alright, look at that, boom. So I'll go back up to this layer. Alright, turn that down, and one thing you'll notice, alright, I'll just quickly ink this. One thing you'll notice with drawing something like a fist is that's really easy. I mean, look at that. That's beautiful. Bugger. So if I move that up here, resize that, alright. Okay. deselect. So if I, you know what? I'm not gonna edit anything. I'm too lazy. So if I put this up next to this one, or even better, put it over it, see how it's so much smaller? You're effectively halving the size of that hand, because your fingers aren't the only thing that's moving. Alright, a lot of people draw fists by just curling the fingers down at the middle joint and then trying to make this giant thumb that somehow covers the fingers. But I mean, look at that. In reality, that's what that looks like. No. When a hand is folded into a fist, the pivot point is actually here, down in the base of your hand. So when the fingers close, alright, that's why your thumb is then able to loop over the top. And you've got a fist. Okay? So now what I'm gonna do is come back to my other layer here. Okay, now so far I've just drawn hands sort of up. That's a bit boring. Okay, so I'm gonna come through and draw some more basic shapes, some more building blocks. Okay, so if the base of the hand is this kind of rectangle kind of a shape, okay, and you've got, that's too similar, and you've got that kind of a triangle that comes off, and then you've got your knuckles, your wrist that comes down. This is what we've learned so far. And then, you know, you've got your fingers up here. Okay, basic shapes of the hand. And so then if we flipped that, turn it around upside down, and now the inside of the hand, right, has these sort of creases and the tendon there. Okay, how do we translate that into a three-dimensional understanding? Okay, so when I draw the base of the hand, what I'm really drawing in here is, okay, I've got the basic shape, but then it's a kind of a cube, you know? So in this 3D space, that's that. But then this knuckle, or this protrusion, right, for the thumb, actually comes in kind of like that. Alright, and come on, get down, come on. Sorry about that. And then kind of you've got your inner creases, but as they crease, everything has form. Alright, so this might be this box here, but it also causes that crease. Okay, and then the knuckles aren't sitting on top like I've drawn them here, not exactly. They're kind of inside of this initial shape. And if you look at if you look at your own hand, alright, these green circles I'm drawing are your knuckles. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? And see, if I turn my hand on the side, they're not poking out. They're just kind of there. So when you're drawing them, it's important to remember that when you're drawing fingers, alright, they are connected and overlapping with those little cylinders, okay, that are connected to these green spheres. Okay, same over here with the thumb. Alright, we've got one cylinder, another one, and that's a thumb. Alright, that's nice and easy, right? So once you've started to contemplate how the hand is built, and especially once you've got an understanding of how that happens in 3D, that's when you can... Okay, that's when you can start to do some exciting stuff with hands. So, I'm not actually sure how long I've been recording. 20 minutes already, wow. Okay, so I'll try to cut this a little bit short, because this is getting longer than I meant to spend on it. But what we're gonna do is come through. I'm just gonna go with a nice blue. No, I'm not. I'm gonna go with a black, because I'll show you a cool feature in Manga Studio or Clip Studio Paint as I go. Alright, so we've got our basic hands up here in the black. We've got our building blocks here in the colors on the left, and on the right we have a 3D representation of an open hand, like I drew in the middle here over in the black ones. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to draw a few different ways, alright, to draw different shapes of the hand. So, right, understanding that the hand kind of goes like this, we can do a basic pointer finger. Alright, we can do a fist, but we can do it facing ahead like this. Alright, thumb comes down, overlaps, wrist, okay, and we'll do, you know what, actually that might be it for now. No, I'll do one more. Okay, so I'll move these to the side. Yeah, okay. And then what I'm gonna do, bugger. I'll move these up a layer so I don't mess with these. Alright. What I'm going to do now is draw a hand holding something. Okay? So let's say we've got our something here. Alright, doesn't really matter. What I can do is imagine sort of where the hand would be. Alright, so the hand's gonna bunch up as it grabs. We're gonna have the thumb kind of here. Remember, this shape here is this light blue section, okay? And then we're gonna have our fingers coming through. And kind of doing this sort of thing, okay? And through our building blocks, we've drawn a hand holding something. Alright, let's make that into a knife, just because why not? Alright, boom. Now, these are big, ugly messes, right? But in Clip Studio Paint, look at that. Boom. That I do by pressing Control B, and if you're using a program in the Clip Studio suite, whether that's Clip Studio Paint Pro or EX, you can just hit Control B, and that makes all of your lines on the layer you are currently working on blue. Alright, and it makes it a lot easier to then draw over the top of them and see what you're doing. Okay, so what I'm gonna just do is real quick go over these. Alright, and you can see through just a few simple shapes I have managed to draw a pointing finger. Okay, I have managed to draw, what have we got here, a fist. Okay, which I have drawn over a horizontal plane. Alright, what's that? Looks a bit more dynamic. Okay, and we've got a hand, probably the most exciting thing in this video. We've got a hand holding a knife. Okay, and this is all very rough, and it's just to show you, my lovely viewers, that, you know, hands aren't scary. When you're drawing them, they're not actually crazy detailed. They're pretty quick to draw, and with just a little bit of time, okay, you can produce something a little bit more exciting than your run-of-the-mill empty hand at rest. Okay, another issue people run into, just quickly, is when they draw hands, sometimes, yes, hello, come, hello, oh, say hello to everyone. You want to be on camera, don't you? Come on, down on the floor, or there, whatever, stay over there. People are afraid of hands because, you know, they've got this 4 fingers, a thumb, however many joints are involved in that. Then you've got the palm of the hand and all of these crease lines and everything they have to try to remember. And it freaks people out because they overthink it, okay? If something like this diagram here doesn't do it for you, okay, maybe you're just not ready yet to be drawing 4-fingered hands. So what you could always give a go is something a little more cartoony, okay, like, say, if you're a Disney fan or a video game Nintendo and Sega fan, alright, 3 fingers, boom, cartoony, gloved hand, like you'd see on Mickey Mouse or Mario, okay, or Sonic the Hedgehog. Alright, so, you know, and look at how quickly I drew that. So, you know what? Here we go. Bit of color. I'm gonna go with gonna make this Sonic the Hedgehog. Okay. Let nobody say that Zach is afraid to use color. Because my last 2 videos, actually I did color in that Superman, didn't I? Yeah, okay, well, you know, hey. Alright, so 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Alright, here we go. This is a really basic way to render a hand, okay? Boom. A little more. A little less, little more, little more. Alright. Yeah. Alright. You know what? Color picker, boom. Bit of shadow. Okay, I actually think I'm going to use the airbrush now. Alright, there we go. You know, so you can have a very cartoony looking hand with so much less effort. If all of this scares you, okay, always rest assured that 3 fingers and a thumb is an actual style, okay? There is a huge fan base for this cartoony style, okay? So I'm going to zoom out. If you've been following along or drawing along with me, there we go. There's what we've done today, or tonight, wherever you might be viewing this. Okay, guys, I hope you learned something today. Sorry. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to give it a like, subscribe, share this video on social media. I'd really appreciate it. If you want to hit that notification bell down next to my name, you can, but I'm not really going to push that because I personally get frustrated with push notifications on my phone. So, you know, up to you. And I think that's it for today. I'm going to be following this up with a few more videos on the human body, male and female. Okay, some coloring tutorials, traditional and digital. But for my breakout digital video, I thought this could be a bit of fun. Everyone always wants to know how to improve their hands. So here you go, guys. Nothing fancy. Just my approach to how I would draw hands. Okay? So please have a good day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!